And we're live. Welcome in, everybody. We're excited to have you here tonight. We've got an incredible match. But before we get there, before we go any further, oh my goodness, I hear myself twice. I'm being joined by the lovely C-Funk Play.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
I know I'm doing well. I know I'm excited for this. I hope you are as well, chat. I already see the excitement running wild. Tonight, guys, we're going to be seeing, we're going to be seeing who tonight, C-Funk?
We're going to be seeing Yetis and Vexity.
That's absolutely correct. Two great teams. We have not gotten to see them live yet at this point. So for myself, for C-Funk, and for everybody else involved, what's really exciting is this is kind of an unknown. We don't know if one team's going to be blowing the other out of the water. We do know, however, that they've been playing against each other in the past and that there's actually a bit of a rivalry between these teams.
That's right. That's right. They
100%.
do have a pretty high SR rating of 2,900, so we're in the diamond range. So.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing some higher SR plays than maybe we've seen necessarily in the past. Very, very cool to see that we're attracting more and more teams into our community matchups right now. More and more teams wanting to get involved, and I'd like to just also take this opportunity. We'll talk about this a few times, but if you yourself are part of a team, whether you're a community manager, whether you are a player, and you'd like to get yourself involved, absolutely feel free to join the Wasted Potential Discord, where you can actually get your name involved, get this happening, and you too can be broadcasted on this amazing channel, which I personally think is, I personally might be biased, but I think this channel is great, C-Funk.
It is. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I would even say it's exciting. It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
All right. Excellent. Now, what's also very, very hyped for today is we're not going to be playing on that old patch that we were talking about last week, the week before. We're on a brand new patch now.
That's right, Bloomer. A lot of exciting things going on. A lot of new hero updates with this new patch.
Yes.
A lot of things like a Junkrat update.
Absolutely.
So we've got a damage increase from 40 to 50 on his frag launcher. So that's a total damage direct impact of 130.
Yeah, and that's going to make a huge difference, because if you take a character like Junkrat that's already doing so much DPS, but now you go ahead and you throw on something, whether it's Orissa's ultimate, whether it's a Mercy damage boost, there's so many different things that they can do. And that's going to make it so that most characters under 200 HP are going to be one shot, which is a pretty wild game changer. And a matter of fact, we're going to be seeing, I think, a few different characters today than maybe we've seen in the past.
I think we're going to see a lot of DPS characters. They're the ones that have been getting a lot of the buffs lately, especially with this new patch. So I think it's going to be amazing to see. We've also seen a Widow buff with the health bar with her ultimate. It also cancels after her death. I mean, that's kind of a big one.
It's a massive one, because of course in the past, Widow, her ultimate, super great information. But at the end of the day, I mean, no matter what she ended up doing with it, it gave your team that advantage. Now Widows, when they do pop that, it's going to have to be a little more strategy behind it, because you need to make sure, of course, that you're using it to the engage and that you're not going to get picked. And I foresee potentially a lot of maybe Widow versus Widow, and it's going to be who uses the ult when. It's going to be a little bit more of a mind game, kind of like what we've seen with Reinhardt's in the past, and how the Rein v Rein battle is just so filled with mind games. Although what's really exciting about this one is that the Widow does, of course, have that very high skill cap, that mechanical skill. So I know that, well, we might see it, we might not. First map, though, that we're going to be heading towards, guys, it's actually going to be King's Row, a hybrid map. And I've definitely seen some Widows being pulled out at point A before.
Oh, yes. The good old point A Widow on King's Row.
Absolutely. That I'll get a pick and then I'll swap off. I promise. Let me just get a pick or two. Then I'm going to swap.
Oh, yeah.
It's,
Ain't that the truth?
Isn't that the truth? I think we've all been there before. And you know what? I got to tell you, as a platinum player myself, I've even seen a Widow get a pick before, which is, I mean, more than I can say for every rank below that.
Now, going into King's Row, there are different ways they could go about this on the attacking side. They could go, they've got three entrances they could really go here. Which way do you think they're gonna choose to go here?
Well, I personally foresee that they're probably going to go direct down the middle. Now, it depends, of course, what they end up running. Typically, in the recent meta, we've seen a lot of Reinhardt on this map. And again, everyone who knows me knows I am a huge Reinhardt fan. I love playing Reinhardt. So I kind of want to see that. But we've talked about, with all of the buffs and nerfs going on, Orisa, finally, with her speed increase, looks like she could be viable for attack, which is just absolutely crazy.
That would be a big one.
It would be a big one. I don't know if we'll see dive, but I guess there's only one way to find out, C-Funk, and that's by going live to the match right here, right now. I believe the teams are ready, and let's see if we can check in with them right this moment. And yes, we do see it starting at the moment. We're entering into King's Row. All right, and as we can see, they start to assemble their heroes. We're going to take a quick look at the map. Again, helping out people that maybe don't have the knowledge or the experience with this game. You might be new at it. What King's Row is it's actually called a hybrid map taking place in the streets of London. It's actually one of the original maps that came out with the game. The attacking team is going to start off here, moving their way through this choke point, and then what they've got to do is they've got to take over point A, which is located in, well, this general area. There will be a nice rectangle or square that you'll be able to see. From there, the defending team, of course, trying to stop them. Assuming that attacking team does get A, they're going to be pushing the payload through these streets, these narrow streets with all sorts of little ins and outs that they can take until they reach this checkpoint right here. If they do reach the checkpoint, they're going to get additional time on the clock, and then they have to push one more time to the final checkpoint and attempt to complete the match. Of course, like I said, the defending team is going to be trying to stop that the whole time. It's very easy to do. If you want to defend, if you want to stop the payload, if you want to stop the attacking team from taking Team A, you just have to occupy the space. And we can see the teams beginning to get set up now. Bit of an interesting strategy, it looks like, over here. Again, just so everybody knows, Team Yetis is the blue color on defense to start things off, and Team Vexity in the red, moving forward on the attack. You can see, pushing through the choke, we are going to see Reinhardt, and a matter of fact, nice Ryan-on-Ryan battle. One of my absolute favorites. Early charge from Vexity's Ryan, moving into, well, no pick off of it. They back up into the space, and the attacking team Vexity does pull back. I don't seem to have. Oh, there we go. We saw an elimination there. And once again, Vexity gonna pull back, group up, and try and get a better attack. Again, remember, if you do get that early pick on when you're on the attack, if you get the pick, you want to move forward. You want to take advantage of that. If you lose someone early, you need to stop, group up, and you want to try and give the enemy team as little opportunity to build up their ult charge as possible.
And it does look like Yetis Rhine already has their ults.
Yeah, wow, incredible speed, truthfully, to get that Rhine ult, and might be seeing that come out here for an early charge. It's a great strategy. Rhine ult, that shatter is just so effective at controlling a team. You can actually win a fight just from that. And Yeti's going ahead using that shatter, doesn't connect though, blocked, and is now separated from the team, taken out by Ardu, and that's going to go ahead, give them an opportunity to move onto the point, take over that space. You are hearing the Widowmaker shot going from the distance for Vexity, and it looks like it's going to be a one fight for Vexity. Absolutely, and there's the final one. Now, you have to wonder if Yetis are going to even try and contest this. I imagine not. I imagine they're just going to call it there, and yes, with Vexity going ahead, moving up to that choke point, just again, holding that space, to make sure that nobody's able to move in. And there it goes. Point A captured, and it's time to start moving the payload. All right. And, well, there you go. You can see they're actually pushing pretty strong into this. They're trying to get those early picks. They want to stop that payload as quick as they can. They don't want to allow a lot of space for the attacking team to move forward with this. The longer they can hold this hallway and the more time they can take off the time bank, it's really going to help out because of the fact that they did lose A fairly quickly. They would have wanted to hold that for probably at least an extra minute or so. We see the Farah coming out from Skeeter. We do have an ultimate ready. You know he's looking for that ult. You know he's trying to figure out a way to get behind there. Is he going to be able to? We'll have to find out. Ult economy is basically about 50-50 at the moment. Both teams have popped a few, but are managing to hold on for this next fight as they work their way down the street. Those Rhines just holding right click at each other, staring at each other in the face. Here, this is going to be it potentially. Right here. Yes, it is. And a giant Farrell takes out, Nova at the very least. And it looks like a couple of others went down as well. The Mercy going down. That's a huge pick. No questions asked. Oh! Skeeter does get taken out, though. Yetis managing to stabilize. And once again, we're now looking at the Reinhardt moving forward, trying to, again, hold on to as much space as they possibly can. They really want to make sure that they get at least one more team fight before they get the final team fight on, or at least potentially before point 2. The more team fights that they manage to take here, the more often they hold on to that ult economy, the more likely they're going to be to have no one on that shatter. The Zarya ult comes out, the Zen ult, the trans to try and block it. Still managing to get a couple of picks back and forth. Guys, I don't know where our kill feed is. It seems to have disappeared on us, but that's something we'll look into in just a little bit for you as well, those of you trying to keep up at home. With 2 minutes left, they're still holding very, very strong on this second point, C-Funk.
They are, and it looks like Yetis coming in is going to have 2 ults coming into this next battle to the 2 ults on the other team.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see again, though, it looks like no defensive ults for either team. So it's all attack right now. It's all attack. And with the Zarya grab about to be built up for Team Yeti, oh, the big Diva Bomb does not connect with as much as they were hoping for. But nonetheless, Skeeter is down, the Farah down. No ult coming from Skeeter. And yes, it's going to be, it looks like a trade. Nova down. Shatter comes out from Vexity. They're going back and forth, but it's going to be Vexity, it looks like, going ahead and definitely, yes, winning this team fight and getting more movement on the payload once again. Now, they're going to try and push and make it so that the defending team Yetis aren't going to be able to stop it for another fight before they reach that checkpoint. They want to do that because they don't want to allow, again, the attacking team to have a closer spawn point. However, it doesn't matter. It does reach it, and this is going to be basically a fight for very little. However, the ults are coming out. Skeeter does use the Farrell. Doesn't get the picks he's looking for with it though, and Nova does go down.
We've had a few swap ups. We now have a Hanzo and a McCree for the Yetis.
And surprisingly, C-Funk, Hanzo being played by Hanzo main. Never would have guessed that, eh?
Never would have guessed that one.
As the teams again move forward to approach, you can see once again. Oh, there's the shatter coming out from Nova. A massive shatter for Team Yetis. And they do manage to get at least 2 picks off of it, and it's going to force Vexity to pull back, group up, and try their luck on the next push. Only a minute 30 left on the clock. That's going to give time for 2, possibly a third very, very rushed attack, but really only at the most 2 solid attacks.
But you have to look up at those ults coming into this next fight. Vexity has 4 ults coming into this, whereas 3 for the team on the side.
Absolutely. That ult economy is going to make a huge difference. Again, you can see defensive ults on both sides. But what I like that Yeti's doing is, well, actually both teams, running the Anas so that they can try and nullify the Zenyatta ult. And as the ults start making their way out, there's the trans and the... Oh, there it goes. Huge, huge ultimate. Wow. The Hanzo from Yetis, known as Hanzo main, manages to really take advantage of that ult combination. That Zarya grab pulling the entire enemy team together. Zarya, E26, doing a phenomenal job of just, getting that out, holding on to as many people as possible in the ult. And then it was all cleanup. Hanzo main just had to press Q and take the credit.
That was great teamwork. Great communication.
Now, with only 20 seconds left on the clock, you have to wonder if they're going to figure out something here. The ult economy very strong in Vexity's favor. But so far, again, the defense from Yetis has been very, very strong. Oh, and there it is. The Reaper ultimate going off, and they're going to be going ahead, following up. Both Zens pulling their trans out. There's the shatter. It does take Iode out, and that's going to be probably... Oh my gosh, wait. They're pushing the payload. Someone finally did realize that Zenlock was pushing that payload. The Ryan and Zarya working it together, but now with the Lucio there as well, they're finally realizing, and this should be it for Team Yeti. Should be able to pull this off. It's just cleanup, and there it is. Oh, we did get a Brig onto the point, but not going to do anything other than extend the match for an extra second or two. The overtime runs out. Round one is over. Not quite a full cap there, C-Funk, but a good round nonetheless.
It was a good round. Didn't quite make it, but almost there.
And as we're getting ready, we're actually going to be doing a quick pause, everybody. You may have noticed here, I know I sure did, that the kill feed seems to be turned off. Now, C-Funk, I don't know about you, but when I don't have the kill feed, I know that I'm missing a valuable piece of information the entire time, and I imagine the players are feeling that way. The players are asking for it as well.
It made it a little bit difficult to keep up, but we were still kind of able to keep up from the top. You could see the X, but, you know, it is a valuable piece of information we would all like to have. Not only us, but the players, the coaches, everyone at home would love to have that kill feed.
That's what I'm thinking as well, C-Funk. I'm thinking that I know, like I said, I know for myself personally that I'm watching the game. I'm actually terrible for watching that kill feed. I need to get better at it myself. When I'm playing, I often tend to tunnel vision, and that's why I'm hard stuck in platinum, to be honest. But I know that when we're talking about, when we're discussing it, I know it's not just me that's looking for it, but I know you guys at home. So we're getting that fixed right now for you, or at least we're attempting to. We're finding out. We're finding out if we're able to. We may have to. It looks like we may have to wait for the next round, but we're gonna work on that nonetheless. So, C-Funk, early strategies coming out from the teams. Again, what's nice to see is there's DPS characters. We're not just seeing 3 tank, 3 supports.
It is very nice. I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
I have to wonder if when they flip the attacking team, will we see something similar? Is it going to be a situation where we see the old tried, tested, and true 3 tank, 3 support meta? Or do you think that these are teams that are saying, you know what, we can't live in the past anymore. With all the nerfs going on, with all the buffs happening to damage characters, we got to start to embrace the new meta.
I think they're ready to embrace the new meta. I think these new patches are really pushing the DPS characters out there, and I think we're gonna see some new things tonight, and I think that's exciting.
It definitely is that. What I personally love about it as well is, of course, I mean, we keep joking, we're memeing about the excitement. The excitement is there when we see a DPS character, whether it's a Widow landing those headshots, whether it's a Genji dashing through. I don't care who it is, McCree, Soldier, Junkrat, Symmetra. We could see Symmetra tonight. These are plays that we haven't seen at this level of Overwatch for quite a while.
I think it's going to be amazing to see about how they use these characters, and I think that's what's going to keep us interested. And
I agree. These change-ups are always great to freshen up the game, freshen up all of our feelings. Because I know if you're anything like me, I spend more hours than I actually want to admit involved in whether it's watching Overwatch, playing Overwatch, and once in a while these shakeups are great. Of course, we've seen as well the newest hero being added just, I guess, what was it, a few days ago, and that's
A couple
Baptiste.
days ago. Yeah, Baptiste shaking things up.
So very interesting, guys. He actually is available to be played tonight. You could, in theory, see a Baptiste. Now, will we? Probably not, simply because of the fact that the teams haven't had the time to really work with him yet, to really learn where he's a positive, where he's a negative, and the situational situations, I guess, where he's going to be viable. But you, in theory, could see him tonight. Okay. So really quickly, guys, just a fast update, and maybe we can get into this, is that for the rest of this particular round, we're not going to have the kill feed on, simply to keep things even. However, for the next map, we're going to go ahead. We're going to reactivate that and give all that valuable information, C-Funk, that you and I are so desperately looking for.
All right. Well, we'll just have. Oh.
All right. We just had another, again, small computer issues, guys, for our local scrim. So we're just getting everybody back into the game and ready to go. Again, I know that we don't love to have these long pauses, but hey, you know what? This is welcome to the internet, everyone. So welcome to Twitch.
Things happen.
Things do indeed, and I think what's great about this, though, is it gives us an opportunity, again, talk a little bit about what's going on inside of Overwatch. Again, if you're watching at Overwatch League levels, we're still seeing that old patch, and we're not seeing any changes. Mm-hmm. These are the teams that are currently paving the way into the new meta. And again, we've seen Mei. I've seen in the past, we've seen Symmetra, and now with her buff, again, she's now able to charge her beam, guys, 20% faster through the 3 stages, which is going to mean she's laying down a lot more DPS a lot faster.
That's right.
Now, C-Funk, is there a hero in particular that you're excited about, whether it's a buff, a nerf? Is there one you're really hoping that we see today? See how they've changed into the meta?
I hope we see a Sombra tonight.
Sombra?
Yeah. I know you laugh, but I love Sombra.
I know you do.
I love that they changed her health pack hack. They changed it so that it is now half of what it is when you hack a hero. Yes. So it's about 4-second cooldown when you hack a health pack now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Sombra's in the past, that's the thing. Sombra is a character we've seen a lot of course, because she is still, and she always has been very much so, a viable character. She her EMP disabling the entire enemy team it's an incredible ability, and she gets that so quickly. She can actually get one pretty much every team fight. But now we're actually going to see, because in the past, Sombra's knew that using that cooldown on a health pack often just didn't have the value they were looking for. The health pack would end up not being used, and or by the time you actually needed it, well, maybe it wasn't hacked anymore, and losing again an 8 or a 9 second cooldown. That's a long one for something that may or may not be useful. Ended up being that Sombras didn't do it. Now Sombras are going to be able to do that, set up their health pack, and by the time they're actually in the backline, ready to hack that opposing hero, it's already back. So she definitely is going to be getting I imagine, a fair amount of use here.
I think so. I think so. Also, we've got the new knockbacks. So even if they are flying in the air or anything like that, the knockbacks are going to be even across the board.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So what that, of course, C-Funk, what you're saying is, with it being consistent across the board, it's going to make certain characters like the Lucio that really rely heavily on that boop effect to be able to play with a little more consistency than they had before.
That's correct. So even your Mercy in a Valkyrie state will be knocked back as well.
Yeah, if she's doing that dash forward, Diva, same situation. If she's flying through in the past, if a hero such as, again, a Lucio would boop her, she would more or less just fly through it. The boop wouldn't really work, and it was just kind of a jumbled mess. Whereas now, even if you're using that full forward motion, you get booped. You're getting booped further back. And again, that's going to mean that certain maps, whether it's they've got the pits, the wells, just edges of the map, anywhere that in the past was able to get away from those heavy boops and get themselves back onto the map a little easier, might have a bit of a harder time now.
Exactly. And then let's see, we've got Rialto coming up after King's Row.
Yeah, we do, absolutely indeed. So what we're doing today, guys, is I'll just take a moment to talk about what the different maps we're going to be seeing. Because again, I know so many of you at home are absolute experts on this, maybe even more knowledgeable than C-Funk and myself. But for those of you that aren't, let's take a moment to talk about the fact that there's basically, well, there's 4 major types of maps here. The first one is an interesting one. So King's Row, what we're on today, it's a hybrid, which is a combination between your payload map as well as your, oh gosh, what's the actual name of it? I was going to call it 2CP. We want to call it as an assault. It's a mixture between an assault and an escort. So
hybrid.
Yes, a hybrid. That's exactly right. From there, thank you guys. Thank you, C-Funk. Then from there, we're going into Rialto, which is a payload style map. So what we've already seen here is we've seen what the payload's like. The only difference is the payload's going to be all the way through. It'll never stop. And apparently we're taking so long, my computer just tried to go to sleep there, guys. But that's okay. I sorted it out. At least I hope I did. From there, what we also need to do is we need to talk about Paris, which is going to be the 3rd map today, a pure assault map, also known in the community as 2CP or 2 control points, where no different than how we see at the beginning of King's Row attacking point A, they're going to be moving on after that to attack a second point. Surprisingly, C-Funk, known as point B.
Shocker.
A real shocker, isn't it? You would never have thought. And then, of course, the final type of map we need to talk about is control, where both teams come in from their original spawn locations and are attempting to simply control a point. Easier said than done, because, of course, the whole time you're trying to control it, well, so is the opposing team.
That's right. They're just trying to take it over, boop each other off. The other team wants to take it over, boop that team off. You know, it's just an all-out war.
That's exactly it. And of course, we're going to be talking a lot more about this as we get into it. And I believe we're finally ready, guys. I'm very excited. Again, remember, there is going to be no kill feed for the rest of this particular round, this particular map. But we're going to be going back to it. Let's get back into the gameplay right now. And again, giving the teams a chance to assemble their heroes right now. We'll have to see again if we see more of the same, or if the teams are going to, now that, of course, a different attacking team, a different defending team, are we going to see some changes? What do you think, C-Funk? Do you think we'll see more or less the same or a similar strategy? Do you think we'll see a Mei on attack on point A?
We could see it. They did have it on the defense. It doesn't really look like we do have it. We do have a Baptiste, though.
Wow, that's potentially very exciting, guys. And it looks like, yeah, it's Vixen taking over that Baptiste role. I know that, to me, that's got to be hype. That's got to be hype. Chat, the very first time on this particular channel that we're going to get an opportunity to see Baptiste. We're going to get a chance to see Baptiste in a competitive play. And we can see the Sombra on the attack. So C-Funk, you've got to be happy.
I'm very, very happy with the Sombra.
I knew you would be. And there we go. We can see Team Yetis. There's E26 running up and getting himself a nice spot for the translocator. And you can see, of course, Vexity holding that high ground. playing an Orisa D.Va composition. Again, guys, I love this new patch because we're seeing all sorts of different things. There you can see the barrier going down for Nova on Ryan, but he does manage to stay alive. Going very, very low, though, and there he's finally taken out. Cyborg Ninja taken out for Vexity. 1-for-1 trade, but you have to think that maybe losing the main tank is going to be the bigger issue, and we're probably going to see Yetis, yes, pulling out, trying to get themselves grouped back up together. And yes, that's exactly what we're going to see here. They're pulling that group up. And once again, the shield is out, and they're going to start moving towards that point. They didn't quite manage to get a tick. They were very, very close, but more or less just an opportunity for everyone to charge their ults. We can see Baptiste ult very close to being completed, 95%. He's going to have it for this fight. I know I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see what opportunity that's going to present, because I know for me, with my very basic abilities, I've been trying to play some Baptiste, and I am terrible. I am absolutely terrible at it. And there we go. We see the immortality field out one more time, keeping his team alive. And there's the ultimate. There's the ultimate. They fire the Hanzo ult as well, and now they're we can see the Zen ult coming out from Yetis. Iode holding on to his for a little bit longer because they don't need it, and that's going to put them in a great position for the next team fight. Having that defensive ult, as well as Zenlock holding on to that D.Va bomb, a definite opportunity to wipe out the entire team of Yetis. Yetis coming in with the Reinhardt ult on Nova. And out he goes. Going back into the building one more time. Trying to, again, take that behind approach. So an interesting way to do it. Oh, but the McCree ult going off from Cyborg Ninja. Who does he connect with? Doesn't look like many. But as we see the trades going back and forth, Iode was taken out. Not going to be able to use his ult. D.Va bomb comes out from Zenlock. Looks like Nova and Hanzo main taken out. The Orisa bongo drum, that supercharger out there, giving them all that they're going to need. On top of that, Vexity going to win that team fight, and they push Yetis back again to their spawn, where they're going to have to regroup and figure it out.
And we did have a swap off of a Brig to a Hanzo for Hanzo main on Yetis.
Well, you know, I guess they got to the point where they realized maybe this the triple support wasn't as important as having that extra DPS. Again, if that Hanzo does get just one or two quick picks and even just take out that immortality field, it's going to make a huge difference. You can see the immortality field actually already down, and they're bullied their way on there this time. No problems whatsoever. They've already got almost two ticks, but that might be all that they get. They might not have quite cemented that second kicking time before the fight is won out for Vexity. And no, it's not. You can see once again the tick counter on A back down to just that 1 point. C-Funk, is this going at all the way you thought? I was thinking, quite frankly, I thought Yetis was going to blow through point A.
Yes, I was also thinking that they would capture point A just a little bit quicker.
Now, it's not over yet, but with 14 seconds left, this is the final fight. Oh, Nova's taken out. That's going to cause all sorts of issues. 60 Hertz Diana is taken out, and yet you can see, despite all the ultimates coming out, that immortality field, really an incredible counter against the Zarya grabs. They do a full hold. Full hold, indeed. Vexity manages to pull off the victory. That's going to be a 2-0 victory, specifically. We can see here the play of the game by Cyborg Ninja as McCree. This will really give us an opportunity to see that bird's eye view. Wow. Wow, absolutely incredible. C-Funk, that was great, and what a play of the game as well. You don't often get to see Deadeye, the McCree ult, being used that effectively.
You don't normally see that, that is for sure, but that was great to see.
And again, we keep talking about it, and it's because it's so prevalent right now, and it's so obvious that this new patch is really changing up what heroes make sense at what time. So I'm pretty excited, guys. Not to beat that dead horse to the ground, but I'm pretty excited to see what's gonna be coming up on our next map now.
Rialto.
Yes, Rialto. Everyone's favorite map, right?
I actually really like this map. I love this map. I think it's really pretty. You get the canals, the boops into the canal. We did see Warp take a little bit of a tumble into the canal last week.
We did indeed. I think it was, you said you got to be careful. You can't take that pinky toe out of line, and not 5 minutes later, we saw him take a pinky toe out of line, and well, his entire mech fell off into the canal. So
it did. He took a little bit of a spill into the canal.
yes. On top of that, of course, with this, the canal's an important part of the map, important part of the backdrop and the scenery. But we're also going to be seeing usage of the high ground in this particular map.
That's right. This is a good place for a Widow or an Ashe.
And we may even see some Pharah gameplay.
Yeah, it's a good map for Pharah, yes.
We're of course going to have to wait. There are those indeed. We're going to have to wait and see what the teams are deciding to bring forth. Again, it's so hard to predict at this point. We don't know much about these two stellar teams that we saw in the first round. They did an excellent job, a great performance, and because of the fact that, again, C-Funk, you and I are aware that there's such an intense rivalry between these two teams, I can't see this not being a bit of a grudge match.
I think it's going to be a big grudge match.
And that's I guess a fair way to put it as any. Now, again, we saw them taking advantage of the Baptiste on defense, guys. What was really cool about seeing that from Vexity is, again, that's a new hero. Technically, someone who you can't even see in competitive yet. This is brand new for both teams. This is really making Team Yetis have to think on their toes and have to figure out how do we counter that? Something that we haven't had a lot of opportunities to find out yet.
And I think they're trying to figure out how to counter it now. I think they're talking about it over there. They're talking about it amongst themselves. They're like, how do we counter this? Let's maybe try this next match. And I think they're going to come out swinging.
Yeah, I agree. What's fantastic, what's amazing about what we do here, by giving this little breather between the maps, it gives the coaches, the captains, an opportunity to talk with the team, say, all right, this is what worked, this is what didn't work. And that's the important stuff. What didn't work? How do we change that? How do we fix it? And I think, again, seeing that Baptiste come out of nowhere really shocked them. And again, one more exciting thing for us to talk about is there should be a kill feed available on this particular map, guys. So having the kill feed should make it a little easier for all of us to follow.
We definitely hope there's a kill feed.
Well, again, we are doing some new things here today, guys. Our community matchups. This is a new experiment, something we've been working on really, really hard behind the scenes. There are, of course, some technical difficulties along the way, but I'm happy to say that every week it seems like we're getting just a little further along. And I think when I look around here, C-Funk, I think we're doing a pretty good job.
I think it's coming along. I think it's coming along well.
I tend to agree, but again, you guys know I'm biased here. I will throw it out there one more time. We already have so many teams getting involved, so many team managers, coaches, and at different SRs. So if you are someone who plays Overwatch with a team and you're thinking about getting involved, or maybe you're a coach or a manager yourself of a team, definitely reach out to us on the Wasted Potential Discord. You can actually get in touch with a gentleman known as Warp. You can shoot him a quick message, and I'm sure we'll get that in the chat room for you guys, a link to do that. And we'd love to have you involved. Again, every SR we're more than willing to look at. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're putting your best foot forward, and of course, you're having fun with the game. Really quickly as well, because, well, myself and C-Funk, we get to be in front of your faces the whole time, but there's a lot of behind the scenes work being done as well. Just a quick special thank you to Mr. Hallway Raptor, in charge of all the great graphics that you see around us, and really putting a lot of time forward, isn't he, C-Funk?
He is, and he's doing an amazing job. All these wonderful graphics that you see in front of you, he did. So big thank you.
Big thank you to him, and of course to Werp, who is right now behind the scenes doing all sorts of things, working hard, and we appreciate him. Yeah, we can all wave to Werp doing his thing in the background somewhere. Probably, I don't know what we pay him for, to be honest, but no. So going back to the gameplay though, again, we have to wonder, do you think we're going to be seeing the heavy boops, or do you think they're going to be focusing more on sight lines in this case, in this situation, C-Funk?
I'm thinking it might be a mix-up. You know, why can't it be both?
Why not, indeed? And a matter of fact, if one doesn't work, chances are that's an opportunity. That's not a roadblock. That's an opportunity to change up your strategy, try out some new things, and make it work. And guys, with that, we're heading back into the game. And you've heard us before. It's an escort map, and specifically, it's Rialto. So let's jump back into the gameplay and let's get comfortable. So as mentioned prior, a payload map. So for those of you that are fresher to Overwatch in the competitive scene, we'll just touch base on what that means. Again, as the camera sprints its way to the beginning attacker's spawn, there's our fancy payload. So they're going to be pushing that payload through the map. There's going to be 3 checkpoints. Unlike in King's Row, where we saw only 2, there are 3 checkpoints that they're going to be trying to reach. And at each one, it adds, the first 2 adds additional time. The third, there's the first one for us. The third is going to go ahead and is going to, this is some fancy camera work. Wow. is going to go ahead and end the map.
Making us all a little woozy.
No, it looked great. And you can see now the team's starting to get themselves ready to go. It looks like on the defense.
Look at this. What do we have here? We've got a Roadhog and a Baptiste.
Yes, absolutely. So we can see on Team Yetis, the blue team, again, for those of you at home that maybe are getting a little confused with so much being on the screen at any given time. Blue team Yetis on defense to start things off. And yeah, they are going to be going ahead playing Rissa. Looks like they're going to be setting up on the high ground. And you do have a Baptiste there as well. Looks like they're running Baptiste in the almost the off healer role though, unless they're doing something fancy with Ana. Very interesting. On the attack, you see Vic once again on Sombra, C-Funk, your favorite character. And we also see Pharah, Widow, Tracer. It looks like they're going basically a full-on attack. This is the new meta with Hammond now. Hammond being your main tank. Kind of a dive style potential here.
I love that the Sombra is doing a little bit of recon work.
Yes, absolutely. Early picks from Kashmir and Nova. That's going to be really, really strong for Team Yetis right now. And that's going to mean Vexity is going to have to try and pull back, group up. The dive's not quite as consistent as they were hoping for, but there's Skeeter getting a pick on the Ana. That's going to be huge. Of course, attackers spawn much, much closer. It's going to give them an opportunity to, every time they get that 1-for-1 pick, an opportunity to push that payload. And now we can see that payload starting to make its way forward. There comes the Tracer Bomb out, and it takes out Nova. Nova is down. That's the main tank for Team Yetis. And that's going to give Vexity an opportunity to push this payload for quite a while. Yetis is going to be trying to group up right now and get themselves together so that they can do one last hold before the first point is taken. And yes, you can see there they are grouped up and set up. They're going ahead. They drop that Baptiste. Oh. And they're setting up. They're trying to get those picks. And so far, a lot of nothing being traded back and forth. Neither team losing any members. Healer's doing a great job keeping up. There comes the Pharah ult from Skeeter, though. Skeeter does manage to take out Golden currently on the Baptiste. And then the trades back from both the Hanzo and the Ashe taking out Sombra. And it looks like, they're trying to push that payload, but neither team really fully won this fight yet. The trades have gone back and forth. And because of the fact that the main tank managed to stay up for Yetis, that's going to force Vexity back to try and, again, just work some picks away. And there it is. Zenlong actually gets it on the Ashe. Widow taking out the Ashe. Hanzo Main gets the pick on the Widow, though. The EMP comes out. That's going to give lots and lots of opportunity here, as it was, I believe, 5 members hacked. Ana goes down. Ana's going down. And this may be enough. This may be enough for them to bully their way through it. But will it be? No. Again, Nova holding strong, not letting his team go down. He's playing main tank like a champion, but finally taken out. Holds on for a very long time, and that first checkpoint has finally been reached by Vexity.
Coming into this next fight, though, Yetis does have 2 ultimates. 2 strong ultimates. We have got a Bob.
And everybody kind of walked off the point there for a moment. It looks like I'm not really sure if they I guess they were just grouping up, making sure they're going in as a team. And there we go. Now we're seeing some payload movement.
Lost a bit of time with that payload though.
Yeah, just a few seconds, but those few seconds can end up being critical potentially. When you need to stop for that group up, you really need to make sure that your team is grouped up as quickly as possible, and maybe throwing someone like the Lucio on the payload to keep it moving may have been beneficial. But that's all right. There we see it once again. That immortality field from Baptiste for Yetis manages to get the team to stabilize, and Nova once again trying to set up, but getting pushed very aggressively by the Rhine and the DPS. It's too much, and that's going to give Vexity the opportunity to get a couple of picks, pushing forward, and it looks like they're moving that payload. 2 people sitting on that payload right now, now just 1. That might be enough for point E, or the second checkpoint rather, which is often considered one of the easier ones to get along the way. And there it is. Payload reaches it with 3 minutes, 50 seconds left on the clock. I would have to imagine that they're pretty happy with this attack so far.
That's a good amount of time to reach point 2. Gives them plenty of time just in case it goes into overtime.
Now, Yetis has managed to stabilize here, it looks like, but they may have to pull back and give up some of that payload room as the attacking teams comes back. Again, Vexity has been absolutely ferocious with their push forward. The Reinhardt, again, just being able to hold W and left click causes so much damage that even with the Orisa buff, her fire now when she's shooting, she's only reduced speed by 50% as opposed, or I believe 30% as opposed to 50, 20% faster than she used to be. It still isn't enough to stop that Reinhardt just holding W. And there comes the Shatter, and lots of trades, but mostly going in the direction of Vexity. Vexity pushing stronger and stronger, and you can see that Zarya charge up high. Zenlock trying to keep the Team Yetis in their spawn room.
And they're still holding on to that Ana nano boost.
They are. There's the 2 Ryans charging into each other. Shatter. The Genji blade comes out. The Hanzo ult comes out from the spawn. Yetis needs to do something to stabilize here. A lot of trades again going back and forth. They do have spawn advantage on defense at this point, but will it be enough? It is enough, and they're actually going to go ahead. They're working on staggering that Mercy just a couple extra seconds again. 2 minutes, 14 seconds left, but you can see how close it really is to the finish. They really just need to win 1 team fight, C-Funk.
They do. If they can hold out long enough for 1 team fight.
They and there you can see the Mercy ult Valkyrie coming out from Iode. They're trying to move in on that. Lucio drops the beat as well. They're using defensive ults early. Is it going to be enough? It looks like they're doing a great job pushing it. They've got control of the payload. You can see Team Yetis once again being backed off. They're trying to stall it out, but they're not going to be able to. Or are they? There's the Tracer touching it, but not able to stay on without being picked. That's going to be it. Round 1 fully complete. The ult after the battle isn't going to do much for them, but you can see they managed to get the 3 points with 1:33 remaining in the time bank.
Initiating match.
And now, of course, that does not mean either team isn't out at this point, guys. All that needs to happen now is they need to replicate that on attack. They need to get those full 3 points and ideally have some time left in the time bank. If they have any amount of time over 1 minute left, the teams simply run with the amount of time that they had left in the time bank. They do it again, and they see who manages to push the payload further. If there's less than a minute left, what they'll do on a payload map like this is they'll bring the team with less than a minute. In this case, it would be Yetis. Up to 1 minute, they'll have 1 minute to push, and they give a corresponding amount of extra time over to Vexity. So if they, for example, pushed it over with overtime, Yetis would then have 1 minute on the attack, and Vexity would get a minute added to their time bank, giving them 2.5 minutes to go.
And it does look like they're going with a dive composition.
Something we haven't been seeing a lot of until recently again. Pretty cool to see Winston getting played.
It is. Haven't seen that yet today.
That is the truth. And yeah, we're seeing Winston on both sides, both the attacking and defending teams, going for a bit of a dive composition here. It's again, brings me back about 5 seasons in Overwatch. Back when as a Rhine main, I used to hate seeing Winstons all the time, but now it's just such a welcome sight. I love it. See Cyborg Ninja trying to get those headshots, but they're using that payload very effectively to keep themselves hidden, secret, and that's what you have to do again as the Winston. Granted, he's a tank, but he's not a shield tank in the traditional sense, and you can see he does get picked fairly early from Cyborg Ninja, the Widow, over on Team Vexity. And the teams are grouping up one more time. Vexity on that high ground did a great job holding them off on the first push. You can see now they're funneling to that right side. They were seen, so the team just simply shifts over. But is this approach going to be maybe a little more effective? And it isn't yet, but that doesn't mean anything at the moment. You can see that D.Va almost out of that. Oh, and Cyborg Ninja is taken out by Nova. That's going to be a huge pick. As we see, again, the trades coming in, and these trades are going in Yeti's favor. Yeti is definitely ahead in the numbers at this point. I believe it's 5-2, and that should be pretty much a one fight. You have to wonder. Yes, he's gonna pop the ultimate. Optimito is, or Optimo rather, is going ahead, being that raging Winston, keeping his point presence, trying to slow down Yetis from being able to get a lot of space, and he gets out, regroups with his team, and it looks like they're going to be holding around that corner until they can move in again.
4 ults on Yeti's side to the 3 on the other team.
Yeah, absolutely. And but again, though, you can see, oh, and they're all coming out. A lot of ults. Quick. Back and forth. However, there are trades coming in. There are trades. So far, it's going in the favor of Yetis, though. And yeah, that's going to be a Yetis one fight. It's just cleanup at this point. The 2 tanks remaining. That's it. And yeah, no, there we go. There we have it. Payload reaches it. It was indeed. It was a defiant victory. Again, a lot of ults coming out, but you can see already three ults in the bank for both teams.
They're still pushing.
They are pushing indeed. And they're right now, it might seem silly that they're giving space, again, for people that don't know, but it's because there's optimum spaces or places to hold on each point, and that's what they're allowing them to do. They're allowing them to push into these optimum spots so that the defending team has a little bit better of a spawn, as well as on top of that, they're gonna have things like high ground to play with. And a huge D.Va bomb coming out from Zenlock, manages to take out 2 healers. And well, they're just going to be pushing through right now. Vexity getting lots and lots of picks. And that's going to be a strong hold on that area. Yeti's trying to, oh my goodness, they're trying very hard to take out Vexity's main tank, the Winston. Weren't able to do it though, and Skeeter does manage to knock the D.Va off into the canals. Something again we saw last week. D.Va's swimming. C-Funk. I didn't know that in D.Va's lore that she was a swimmer on top of being a gamer.
You know, it's a new thing we're seeing. New meta?
Yeah, we've seen many times mini D.Vas jumping off. And oh, McCree tries to get that big ult, but instead it gets eaten by the D.Va, and E26 on the Genji takes him out. Skeeter does take D.Va out of the mech. Kashmir now just mini diva trying to get back into mech, already up to 50%. There is the Ana boost on Zenlock the diva, and lots of things happening. Skeeter manages to take out Tracer. Nova, the Winston for Yeti, takes out Zen. Skeeter takes out Nova, however, and Skeeter is just cleaning things up. No one really contesting him at the moment. You can just see Skeeter's name coming up on kill feed left, right, and center. And now they're pushing the attacking team all the way back to their spawn.
Oh, and we've got 3 ults for Vexity and 2 for the other team.
Yep, both teams have 1 defensive ult, which is great to see for sure. Now, because of the fact that Diva ult over on Vexity that Zenlock's holding on to at the moment, it can be huge, but without a Graviton Surge or anything like that to combo it with, they've really kind of got to go for something cheeky here. Something where maybe they manage to get the support from the back, or someone who just happens to be out of play. And there you can see already 2 ults coming out from Yetis, the Yeti Blade and the Lucio drops. There we can see more and more. Devo comes out. Winston, Primal Rage. Lots of things happening. Not a lot of trades though. Little bit of movement, but not much. There's the Pharah ult as well as the Ana boost. They get a few with that one. They do get a few with that one, and it's Vexity winning that fight out and still having to, or managing to hold on to a bit of an ult economy over top of Yetis.
And that payload seemed to be stalled in one area. It is now pushing a little bit backwards.
Yeah, if the attacking team isn't pushing it actively, the payload does start to move backwards. Again, even if they're if both teams are both on it, then it simply stays in the same spot. But if no one from the attacking team is pushing it, the payload does start to move backwards. As the kills come in, Cyborg Ninja managing to take out the Moira, and it looks like yes. Oh, well, there goes Nova off the map. They obviously have decided that wasn't going to be the fight for them, and they're resetting. The Diva Bomb came out as well. Doesn't connect with anyone. This fight is already over. And again, we're actually seeing a change right now. Nova swapping to the Reinhardt. Apparently, they decided that the dive approach wasn't going to work for them. They need to get on there. They are touching the payload, but we're officially in overtime now. There comes an ult. Skeeter gets the pick on Zarya, and oh my goodness, that was huge. McCree, Cyborg Ninja, gets 3 kills on the Deadeye, and then also finishes off the Lucio. That is, well, that's a defiant Vexity win. Again, the score on that particular map is going to be 2-1. As we check in with the play of the game, Cyborg Ninja as McCree once again. Cyborg Ninja just being absolutely nutty.
It's
Another triple kill. C-Funk. A lot of McCree and a lot of very, very powerful McCree plays that we're watching here today.
nice and easy.
A lot of
Just
McCree.
Yeah.
A lot of high ground play from Vexity. I was noticing as well.
Yeah.
Using that high ground to their advantage.
Yeah, controlling the high ground, giving your team every opportunity to have the advantage in the fights. That's what's been working for them. And again, seeing, I mean, it's actually kind of crazy how well Cyborg Ninja's using those McCree ults. Something that in the past hasn't been considered one of the stronger ults in the game. But I do believe there was recently a buff that's making a bit of a difference. And I think we're seeing it here because Team Yetis is just having a heck of a time getting away, getting into cover, and not being caught out in the open when Cyborg does step out. And I mean, we've seen it. That was multiple times. There were at least 2 or 3 plays that could have been play of the game there.
Definitely using this McCree ult to their advantage and taking it.
Are we seeing the return of McCree? Is that possible right now?
I think we're seeing the return of the McCree.
It's wild. It brings me back to season 1, let me tell you. When McCree was considered almost like the ruler. He was so good at what he did. And he was in basically every death ball comp, and he was a really powerful character back then, but we haven't seen as much with him because of the fall off. There was always reasons to use someone else. Recently they brought Ash in, which was argued that was a basically another McCree, but with certain abilities, like her ability to get to the high ground a lot easier than McCree can, that we're gonna make him like not unusable, but pretty low tier. But again, we're seeing now, well, just because they tell you that character shouldn't be used doesn't mean that at all. In the right hands, and the right hands happen to be Cyborg Ninja today.
We are being proved wrong.
Isn't that the truth? I gotta be honest though, again, mechanically, I personally am terrible at the mechanics behind a character like McCree. So
I'm the worst McCree ever, so don't look at me.
yeah. I do love to see these different heroes being played again, but I will say that, well, my poor Reinhardt, you know, Rein, Brig, Moira, these are the characters that I play, you know.
Well, I'm a Brig fan myself, along with a Mercy, so
yeah,
you know,
but you've really taken into the Brig lately yourself, I know.
I'm a Brig fan, you know, what can I say? I love her shield bash. I think it's very useful. Her, you know, she can really get in there, stun a McCree.
Well, I gotta say,
before he uses that Deadeye.
I you know, you're not wrong. Brig, very, very powerful character still to this day. That's why we've seen her so strongly in the meta recently. Again, with that 3-3, they have done some things where they've taken Briggs out, put in someone else, but typically we have been seeing her still, because between that shield bash, that if you manage to land a shield bash on a character like a Reinhardt, well, you just see teams fall apart, because as soon as your team manages to focus that one character, well, that's it. It's all said and done at that point. It's very, very hard to come back when you lose that first pick, especially if it's a big character like your main tank or your main healer.
And next, we go to where
Paris.
We're going, Bluebird.
We're going to Paris. Seabunk. It's one of our favorite places.
It is. It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
They're croissants.
I'm glad you went to croissants. I was trying to think. I'm like, what do they eat in Paris? I was like, cheese. I feel like snails, maybe. I'm not really sure. Escargot, I believe it's called. Yeah, no, not something I've ever tried personally. I don't know if you're a fan yourself, but
no, not a fan.
But croissants, they sound
baked
delicious.
Goods, croissants.
I could definitely go.
Chocolate croissants.
I could definitely go for that.
They're delicious.
I'm sold. I'm ready to go to Paris personally. Now Paris in Overwatch, I guess we're not going to real Paris, but we are going to Paris in Overwatch, guys. Now Paris, it is an assault map. So again, in the community, often referred to as 2CP. We'll talk a little bit more about it when we have it on the board and when we can actually show you. But what's really cool about this one, you're going to be taking over point A, which gives typically the attacker the advantage because their spawn room is closer. And then when it switches over to point B, it flips the tables. And now the defenders have that close spawn, giving them the advantage for any sort of trickle battle that happens. So what you really need to do is you need to team wipe. Team wipe, team wipe, team wipe. If you manage to do that on the attack for the defending team on B, well, you have a chance. If you just trade out 1-for-1 the whole time, you're never going to take over B. And that's where you're going to be stalled out. Who do you think right now? We've so far seen it's, I believe, Team Vexity pulling ahead in this particular matchup, C-Funk. What do you think is going to happen in Paris?
You know, everyone loves an underdog. I think I believe Yetis can do it. I believe they can do it. I think they're going to pull through. They're going to do it.
We've got a Team Yetis prediction here in the announcing room. Chat, I need to hear from you guys. Do you think that Team Yetis is going to come back, get this big win, and keep themselves in this, or is this going to be the final nail in the coffin? We're going to have to wait and see as the teams, again, get ready. The team coaches just going everything. Again, Paris, guys, it's an incredibly interesting one to see because of the fact that it is brand new to the game. We have not seen many competitive teams on it. And there we have it. We're part of Paris. Let's go to the map. Let's see what's happening.
Initiating match.
And it looks like, yeah, our girl might be psychic after all. She knew we were heading to Paris. And here we are, C-Funk.
We're here. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's
Look
one
at
of the
cafe.
things. There is a beautiful cafe again. Wait, we can actually see. Wait. Hold on. Do we see on that sign? First off, there's the croissants,
macaroons.
fresh bread. But what does that sign say up there on the top? It escargots.
Escargot?
I believe we can get snails there, guys. That's whoever wants to get their snails. Here we are.
Oh, look at our team setup.
Absolutely. So let's take a look to see again for everybody at home. Team Yetis, the blue team. Team Vexity, the red team. And it looks like Arissa currently playing a little tune on the piano for you all. At least attempting
beautiful. It is beautiful. I love the tune.
It was quite nice. A real working piano. That shows you again, guys, how incredible the developers have done with this map in particular. In all the maps, really, but in this one in particular,
I love all the
actual working
posters.
piano.
The posters everywhere are gorgeous too. I think it's amazing.
It really adds something for sure. There you can see there's attack point A, and the attackers are going to begin moving forward. We're seeing a Lucio. We can actually see the new change to Lucio as well. That speed boost thing over his head, and then you can see it swaps the heal. So you can actually keep track of what aura Lucio's using. And again, Vexity pushing forward, attacking. They're trying to just go right to point. They're using that dive composition with the Lucio and the Winston. But as the trades come through, it looks like they are almost all going in Vexity's favor. Granted, Kashmir did take out Io the Mercy. That is not going to be enough, though. And yeah, they're going to drop that point very, very quickly. Vexity taking over point A, and you can see Cyborg Ninja actually about to jump off the map for fun, but then recalls back. Doesn't seem to need to.
We had Genji sleeping on the job there for a bit before he was taken out. That's not what you want to see.
No. Those sleep darts, again, Ana, such a powerful character, has crowd control abilities with sleep dart, can actually stop enemy teams from being able to heal when they throw that anti-grenade onto the opposing team. Really a great character, and it's great to see. Oh, the Tracer Bomb taking out 60, the Zenyatta for Team Yetis, or rather, yes, 60 Hertz TV. Some great names here in these teams as well. And as it goes back and forth, you can see the trades going in the favor of Vexity, but Hanzo Main did manage to take out the Genji. E26 takes out the Mercy now, and Hanzo Main also takes out Cyborg Ninja, which might be enough here. Is it gonna be though? No, you can see again, this is what we talked about, guys. Just because those 1-for-1 trades, it's not gonna be enough, and the defending team is able to come back, stabilize, and no points lost on B yet.
Coming in, we've got 4 ults for Vexity. I'm sorry, 5 ults for Vexity, and 1 for
And
Yetis.
the only person without an ult on Vexity is the Tracer, already at 81%. You know they're going to get that very quick. As a matter of fact, there you can see 88%. They're going to need to pull out. Didn't have to use that recall, so they're going to give their healer an opportunity. Well, I guess they don't need it for the ult charge, but an opportunity to get them back in this fight. And Golden, the Ana for Team Yetis, the only one with an ult right now. This is not looking good for them right now. They're going to need some sort of miracle to pull this off.
Looks like their Zen is building that ult on Yetis. Oh,
And the ults are being popped off left, right, and center. We had, oh gosh, at least 3 ults pulled there, as well as the Ana ult from Golden. Looks like it's going to be couple of early trades going again in Vexity's favor, and they do manage to get that first tick. They're controlling the space well. Yetis have been pushed off of it, and now here's the hard part. Even with the trickle battle, they not only need to hold the point, but they need to start getting picks. If they don't get picks, it's going to be over. However, Iode is separated from the team, does manage to get back in before taken out. Was very scary. There's the shatter. Nova takes out two. Both healers, the Lucio and the Mercy. Hanzo Main takes out the Cyborg Ninja. And is it going to be enough at this point to stabilize the defense? It looks like it is. Losing 2 and almost a half ticks, but going back down to the 2 ticks here. A very strong push, but honestly, a great defense. A really nice hold from Yetis there.
It was a very strong defense. Coming in, we've got the Zen ultimate for Yetis.
Yeah, and that's what's so incredible at that. Granted, they lost 2 points or 2 ticks on point B there, but what they did manage to do is manage to take all 6 ults from Vexity and find themselves now back in that ult economy advantage, which is really amazing. And we see, of course, the swap to Reinhardt off of Winston. They're going to be, again, Reinhardt, even though no buffs, no nerfs, a matter of fact, a little bit of a nerf because armor in general is just weaker, but he's just still such a great character to keep your team kind of in check. Of course, when you get close, there's very few characters that do more damage than a Reinhardt holding left click. As they move forward, they are using that shield as well as they can. They're pushing. Yep, there goes the Ryan getting knocked out, but the Zen ult coming out from 60 Hertz TV. The Hanzo ult as well from Hanzo Main does get the Brig, and it looks like the Ryan as well. That shatter, massive shatter coming out from Nova. Knocks down 3. Not as many picks as he's wanting, but that's going to be enough to make Vexity have to back off. Mini D.Va getting staggered a little bit, but not too badly. Not too badly at all. Out in the courtyard, we can see the Lucio. There he goes. Golden does take out Lucio. Bit more of a stagger on Vic Sid there, but again, with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left, I think they're okay.
Also builds up Coalescence.
This is true, absolutely. Coalescence as well as Mines ready from Yetis, and over on Vexity, they've got the beat drop. So a defensive ult ready to go. They're going to have that D.Va bomb ready on this next fight. They could even get both the Brig and Zen ult, both at about 70%, but they're characters that can build up quick. They can build up very, very quickly. And there it comes out. That's your Hammond ult, dropping those mines, controlling that space, making sure that Vexity has to go a different route than what they were originally intending, what they were originally committing to. And there's 2 picks going Vexity's way. That could be it, and it is it. Round 1 complete. Yetis just wasn't able to get onto the point. They walked around. They literally just walked around. And a little bit of chirping going back and forth in the team chats. Guys, remember, these teams have a bit of a rivalry. They've played each other many times before, and, well, here we go. Here we go. C-Funk, I hate to tell you that Vexity did manage to get both A and B, and I know you were calling this one to go Yeti's favor, or in Yeti's direction.
They held a good defense, though. They were holding a good defense for quite a bit.
They did hold B very nicely after the steamroll on A. It was really nice to see, actually. And of course, we have seen this in the past, guys. Paris can be a fairly high scoring map. Just because they managed to get both points doesn't mean by any stretch of the imagination that Yetis is out of this yet. Yetis just simply needs to get it. They can do this they could have still 5-6 minutes on the clock. And we see, looking at the attacking team Yetis, it looks like they seem to not like that robot singer. It looks like they're causing some damage to her. I don't know why. I guess
she's got a lovely voice.
I thought so too. And you know, I thought 2019, I thought we were accepting of Omnix at this point.
Now, interesting on the Vexity side, we've got a May, a Junkrat, and a Baptiste.
Wow. I would say we haven't seen this comp before, but I mean, I guess that goes without saying. As soon as you see that Baptiste, what an interesting hold. Now we're gonna see. We've seen a lot of Bastion on this map where they do the Orisa Bastion hold. I'm gonna have to see. I guess the Mei is gonna try and separate the attacking team, and at that point, it's just cause enough DPS with your Junkrat, who's again been recently buffed to cause a lot of damage.
That's right.
And there's the first pick. It's on Kashmir, taking out the Zarya on Team Yetis. And that might be enough to cause them to want to pull back. And it looks like, yeah, Nova's trying to pull back. And who else, though? They are all holding back at point A.
Doesn't look like anyone's going to have any ults for this next fight.
No ult charge yet, although again you can see Yeti's getting close on that Tracer bomb. It doesn't take a lot. At all for Tracer to get back up there. And you do have to wonder why they gave up that high ground. Did they think that someone was behind them, or did they just feel more comfortable holding on A? Maybe they even realized that, hey, we've already held A longer than we expected, and they're just now trying to stall it out. But again, sounds like lots and lots of things happening. Those new sounds, guys, when sometimes getting hits that don't do damage or hits that are headshots, lots of new sounds being involved. There's the Baptiste ult coming out, and it looks like, though, they're not taking full effectiveness of it.
Put it a little far back.
The rest of the team being in front of that Baptiste ult, and of course you want as many people behind that. They're shooting through that. That's going to cause extra damage, and if your DPS can't shoot through it, well, they're not going to be doing anything extra.
Now those Mei walls don't have as much health as they used to, so they do go down a bit faster now.
More counterplay. Much more counterplay with those Mei walls. Before it used to simply be, well, our Ryan got walled off. Good luck, Ryan. You have to stay alive until that wall falls down. Now there's an opportunity for we can focus fire a pillar down, and if we know where our walled off member is, well, we can get that big stagger on the Tracer from Skeeter. The Mei. That was amazing.
We're about even with our ults building on both teams.
Do you like that one, C-Funk? It sounded like it took you a moment, but then you're like, oh, amazing, Mei.
I did like it.
I'm full of them, and so is chat. And now Wall tries to take the Reinhardt separate, but doesn't manage to do it. The team is once again able to group up. Hanzo Main taking out the pick on the Mei. Skeeter down. Oh my goodness! That was massive! What a tire! Are you kidding? There's the play. 5 people down from a rip tire from the Junkrat. Cyborg Ninja not going to give up anything. Says no way, no how, not my point. Cyborg Ninja throwing an emote and a spray down as well. You know, he's got to be happy with his performance. You know, his team has to be happy with his performance so far. He is he single-handedly wiped the team about 3 times now.
But coming into this fight, I mean, again, it looks like we're about even with our ults. This could go either way.
It's gonna have to do with which team uses what ult at what time. You're gonna want to make sure that you're able to again try and either get that advantage for. Oh, and there they come out. They're coming out. Kashmir getting the pick on Cyborg Ninja. Peter responds by taking out Golden the Ana, and there's the Diva Bomb out loud, but doesn't connect with anything. Zen taking out the enemy Zen. I know that's confusing, guys. But once again, it looks like Vexity gonna be holding strong here on A. And I hate to say it, but that's all she wrote. That is it. Guys, that puts us at 3-0 for Vexity over Team Yetis. Well, as we get in, guys, no surprise here at all with the play of the game. Cyborg Ninja, this is going to be a heck of a riptire. Let's see it. He set that trap up, made sure he was getting, oh my goodness! There was no counterplay available for that. How the heck do you stop that? I don't think you can. I just don't think you can. C-Funk, we talked about Junkrat. We talked about the buff. We talked about that we may see him being used, being utilized. And, well, we saw it. We saw it.
I mean, that was
Go ahead. Say it was exciting. I know you want to.
That was exciting.
That was so exciting. Chat, I can't believe it. It was incredible. It was exciting. It was amazing. It was insert words here. Wow. When you see a play like that, how do you not just jump up in your seat a little bit and lean into the monitor? I guess it's only if it's on the enemy team you don't feel that way.
That was kind of like a jaw drop, like, what?
And again, we really got the opportunity to see it when we saw the play of the game. I love that we watched those plays because we did get to see there was no counterplay available. His positioning was so perfect. He knew he had the trap in front of him. If the enemy team Yeti had tried to approach him, well, it wasn't going to happen. There was no way that they were going to stop that in time. And from Riptire going off to the explosion, what was that? Like almost a full second? What are you going to do? You're not going to do anything except for accept your fate. That's what's going to happen there.
They were all standing right there for a group up. I mean, that's a womp womp.
That is a womp womp indeed. That's a cheese and crackers, I believe, as well. That is
that's a cheese and crackers. That's a womp womp. That's it doesn't get much.
Again, I think we have to talk about it.
Man.
We have to talk about the DPS role that Cyborg Ninja has been providing for Team Vexity so far.
It's very strong. It is.
And not only has it been strong, but it's been strong at the right moments.
Yes.
Because what he did there, again, he managed to take out that whole team just by using one ultimate. From there, he was able to keep his team's ultimate economy strong, which made it so they never really had a lot of pressure that Yetis was ever coming in with like a huge ult advantage, so they never had anything to counter with. There was really just never an opportunity like that for Yetis.
He seems to be making the right plays at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's just making the right choices.
Now, I believe, I could be wrong on this, but I feel like he was an alternate pick as well originally. I think this is his opportunity to show that, hey, maybe I belong on the A roster after all.
I think he might be turning some minds around.
Well, I know for me personally, I went in here, I was unaware of the two teams. All I knew that they were about diamond level, which is very, very cool to see. Again, people around my own SR, which I like because it gives me an opportunity to identify, to understand the plays that are going on, understand that mindset. And, well, again, we haven't been disappointed by the high level quality of the gameplay so far.
Not been disappointed.
That's true. Now we have had a sub in. Now it looks like it's Cement coming in for Team Yetis. I believe it's team coach actually. And it's I believe, let me take a look here. It was Optimum that left the team for this particular match. Now this match, guys, we're going into an assault, I believe, and that is, let's make sure I've got this right. It is, I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong. It's Nepal control that we're going into. I apparently don't know what I was thinking, but let's go back into predictions. C-Funk, last map, you predicted that Yetis was going to come out. They didn't quite manage to hit the marker. Are you sticking with your Team Yeti? Are they going to come back and at least pull off 1 point, 3-1? Or do you think this is going to be a full sweep, 4-1, going in Vexity's favor?
Oh, I don't want to make any more predictions tonight. I've just been wrong all night. I don't want to make any more predictions.
Well, that's I guess fair, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm calling it because I know they just had a nice swap. I know that Yetis is bringing someone in, and maybe Cement will be the thing that the team needed. Maybe it's going to up the communication, the confidence. But I got to tell you, I think it's going to be Vexity in a defiant 4-0 victory at this point.
I think you're wrong.
You think I'm wrong? Well, only one way to find out, of course, so we're going to be doing that in just a few minutes. Chat, I'm going to look to you. I'm going to ask, what do you think? How defiant do you think this is going to end up being? Do you think it will be a 4-0 for Vexity, or do you think that finally we're going to see Yetis getting themselves on the board? Now, we do know that technically speaking, Vexity has already won. But if this was full-on tournament rules, which I granted it's not, but maybe one day in the future, we know that every map matters. Every map matters, and in a situation like this, there are two teams with a rivalry. Yetis is going to want to be able to say, yes, we did pull off that win.
They are. Yeah. They want to say it.
Oh, and it looks like, guys, we're just getting word right now that, well, we're getting ready to go into our fourth and final match. Once again, guys, it is going to be a control match. So something, again, a little bit different than what we've gotten to see so far today, but one of our favorite types. And let's go live to the game right this moment, right now, as the teams begin to get themselves set up. So once again, this is a control map. So what this becomes is within this one map, they need to do a best of 3 series. So what we're going to see is, well, I believe with Nepal, it's Village, Shrine, and Sanctum. A little bit of an interesting fact for you guys as well. This map is, well, the 3 portions of the map are actually supposed to be built up on top of each other, starting with the village at the bottom. You would move up in theory, go into the shrine, and then over top of the shrine, you have the sanctum at the top. A little bit of an interesting tidbit for you there, AC Funk.
I did not know any of that, so thank you.
Well, you know, I come here with knowledge aimed and armed to give you, me, and chat and everyone else involved just a little extra tidbits of information.
There is a boop section, and we know I like to talk about boop sections. On the side of this map, you can see if you stand too closely, you will fall off.
Yeah, and with the boops being recently kind of buffed so they're more consistent, that large health pack that was at one point such a great spot to run over to, now it's a little bit risky. It's a little more risky than it used to be. And we can see it once again, just so everybody is aware, Team Yetis in the blue, Vexity in the red. They both push in from their spawns and are now trying to hold control over this point. You can see the control point unlocked in approximately 9 seconds right now. And oh, an early pick from Skeeter manages to take out Hanzo main on the Brig. And well, that it's not enough to win the fight out by any means. And as Nova drops as well, oh, that's going to be enough.
Really old.
Yeah, Skeeter pulling that rally. Wow, that's incredibly fast for Brig to pull that off. That really shows Brig in the right place, Skeeter in the right place at the right time, doing the right damage. As the teams, once again, they have to group up. They're going to try their best, but you can see Nova with only 5% ult having swapped to the Reinhardt now.
And they've had to swap to a Sombra.
Yeah, and of course, that's the one you would know. But oh, Skeeter taking out the Sombra right after Sombra manages to hack the Diva. But again, you can see they're trying to push in, they're trying to get there, but they're just not able to. And as soon as Nova's shield broke, well, that was a good round, good fight, but it's going to be all in Vexity's favor as the picks come through, and they're going to have to regroup in spawn once again.
And look at these ults build up. They are going to have all 6 for this next fight.
Wow. Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, that's not to say Yetis does have a few ults online and a few more getting ready to pop online in just a moment. But yeah, I don't know how you're gonna do that. Although in the past we did see Yetis manage to use or to hold a defense of 6 ults with just using 1. So we'll have to find out. There we go. The ults are starting to pop off. Lots and lots. Oh, the Diva bomb taking out 3. The Lucio, the Brig, and the Rhine. And with the Zen falling down to Zarya, Cyborg Ninja, well, that's another 1 team fight. Ult economy still in Vexity's favor as well.
That was a really great combo for those ults as well.
This is going to be the last team fight coming in as 92%. They need to touch. Yeti needs to get on that point just to contest it. And you can see they're approaching from that high ground. They have to throw themselves at the point. They do manage to get on. And here the ults are coming out. Ults back and forth, left and center. Ryan's both get stunned down by the charges. no picks yet as the Zenolds keep everyone alive, and DPS is just throwing out as much as they can, trying to get a pick, and there it is. Nova does get a pick on the Reinhardt for Vexity. And with Hanzo main on the Reaper, managing to take out the Zen, Lucio for Vic, though does get a return kill. It's not enough yet. It's still stalling out though, and that's it. Finally, they do manage, or they're going to manage at the very least, to flip the point, and it's going to give Team Yetis a chance to start building up. That being said, C-Funk, they got all the way to 99% before they were able to flip that.
Now they've just got to show us that great defense that they had in the last map.
Absolutely, we need to see a very strong defense. What is nice is they do have an ult economy. They have Lucio with the defensive ult ready to go, Reaper with the offensive ult. Maybe if they play this really smart, they may be able to keep that ult economy throughout the rest of this match and get it to 100. It's going to be an uphill battle though, for sure. And as we see the Diva Bomb coming out, Prince of Zarya, oh, it takes out Cement, the Lucio, who already used his deep drop. The Shatter's coming out, the trade's going, but it looks like most of the kills going Yeti's way. And yeah, Yetis is 100% going to manage to hold on to that team fight. And you can see Cyborg.
They did use most of their ults to do it, though. They do have the Zarya grab, though, holding on, just popped up. And about 2 ults for Vexity.
Yeah, Vexity now have that, again, that beat drop from Lucio. Such a strong defensive ult, and with no Sombra or anything to counter it, should be able to keep their team alive in the case of Zarya. And there it is, a huge grab though, and there comes the Lucio beat drop, of course, manages to keep his team alive, Lucio. Really well played, but the DPS is there, the teams are staggering out, and who's it gonna be? Yeah, it is gonna be Yetis getting the picks. Io does manage to take out Nova though, not going to be enough at this point as the numbers are going stronger and stronger in Yeti's favor right now. And with 95% left, this might be it. They've got to touch. Vexity has to touch. If they don't, it's going to be over. It's over. First round is going to go to Yetis after all.
You know I want to say it.
Go ahead. Say it.
That was exciting.
That was pretty exciting. What?
And I kind of sort of told you so.
Well, I heard my girl might be psychic. So, you know, I can't be surprised. I can't be surprised at all. But yes, it's true. Yeti's getting that first control point. And now if they manage to win this one, they are going to take the map. It's an uphill battle for Vexity on this one. They need to win this and another.
We've got some double maze going on. Look at this.
Oh my goodness. You know, why not is what I'm gonna say.
This might be a little bit of chaos. Maywalls everywhere, freezing people. This might be fun.
This is gonna be something pretty incredible. There's no doubt. And there you can see the Mei doing their thing. Mei does manage to take out Zen, and Zarya managing to take out the Mei. Nova does get a pick on Brig, but it looks like this fight is going in Vexity's favor pretty defiantly. And now they're going to rotate to the point. You can see the Rhine charging into the point, and yeah, they're taking it. No problems whatsoever here. They are going to begin that percentage tick up. But remember, one team fight, it only means one team fight. We already just saw last round. Vexity got it all the way to 99%, got it overtime, and then Team Yeti came in, managed to hold it, and well, they were just unbeatable on the point at that point.
That was
Nova getting that. Yeah, that was at least 2 points. 2 points all at once, and you can see they're pushing in. They're very strong. 2 healers taken out, and there goes the Rhine as well. Both Rhines going down. No main tanks left on the field.
We are seeing the use of these Maywalls. They're great in this room, blocking those entrances, forcing the group to come around, use that other side.
100%, and at only 39%. We managed to see Yetis flip it over. So they're going to be happy with that, especially when you look towards that ult economy again. you can actually see it is a little bit, not by much, but it is a little bit in Yeti's favor at the moment. Zenlock just getting his Zarya ult online right now for Vexity though. Cement does have that Lucio beat drop. There comes the Shatter. Doesn't connect with as much as they wanted. But Vexity getting 2 picks. Getting the pick on the Rhine. There's the Lucio beat drop coming out from both teams. And Vexity pushing hard. Yetis has to give up that space. They just need to finish Cappy, and there they do. Yetis gets it to 40% before Vexity flips it back over. Now up to 44%. And there's the stagger on Nova. And is there going to be any other staggers? Let's find out right here. You can see E26 using that Maywall to get themselves to safety. They didn't want to commit any further because they knew there's a very good chance at that point that Vexity was going to end up losing 1 or 2 people. And, well, that's not what they want to do while they're in charge of the point.
And we're coming in with some pretty good ults, about 3 to 3.
Yeah. And again, you can see, though, that Zen ult going online for Yetis. And there it comes out after that grab surge. Vexity and Yeti throwing their ult. You can see all the standard combinations. Oh my goodness, there's the other. Lots of people caught. And yes, Yeti's getting a couple of picks back and forth. 3 picks for Yetis. Only 1 so far in Vexity's favor. But they're still committing ultimates. They're trying to make this back. And with the male, Cyborg Ninja taking out 2. Wow, Cyborg Ninja 3rd pick as well. Managing to hold that point, and they're up to 97%. This might be it right here. They did manage to get someone on point and get the overtime. Yeti now having the Lucio trying to backcap this. Is someone going to notice? They do notice. There's the Zen and the Reinhardt. But
Question is, can he stay there?
And
The routine gets there.
you know, Lucio with his recent changes, he's very fast, but he needs places to be able to ride to. And those big giant openings stop him from being able to use the walls as effectively as he wanted to. Still though, right now, it's about 2 on the point for either team.
Got Tracer bouncing in and out.
Look at Cyborg Ninja and the way he just sprays that. He was really so close, but it's not going to be enough. And it is going to be Yetis winning out that fight and now working their way back up on the percentage, up to 45% to Vexity's 99%. Vexity just needs to win 1 more team fight, take over that point, and it's going to be, it's going to be going to the 3rd round.
And again, coming in with these ults, we're going to have 2 to 2. We're going to have a shatter and a beat drop to... Oh wait, maybe we'll have 3. I'm just kidding. It's a 3 to 2.
And there we see the male coming out from Cyborg Ninja. Cyborg has been so effective in every role he's been playing today. The Mei, no exception. We can see more and more. Oh, and there's the flip. There's still people alive, but they did manage to get the flip. Yeti didn't get on the point. Or Team Yeti didn't get on the point in time. Now they just need to finish this off, and it looks like they're about to. That should be it, and it is. Vexity gets the point and gets the 1-1 tie. We're gonna have to go to the 3rd map to see who manages to take this round.
1-1.
Now, C-Funk, you did say that you were psychic before to me, and you did call Yetis to win this. But after seeing the 1-1, are you sticking with Yetis? Do you think it's going to be Vexity?
I'm sticking with Yetis.
You're saying sticking with Yetis?
I think they can do it. I really do. I think they can do it.
I believe that you're right, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to keep my vote for Vexity. I think they're going to pull off this 4-0 victory today.
4, 3, 2.
Now they better be careful of this boop zone. This is a very, very big hazard.
Yeah, and you can see how deep that hole goes. I don't know if that makes a difference in the game, but once you're off the map, I guess you're off the map. But very, very deep. I don't know who designed this. The architecture really is beautiful, but it does seem unsafe. I gotta be honest. And Nova with a very early pick on Cyborg Ninja before the game gets paused. It sounds like we have a DC at the moment. The internet, sometimes questionable. We all know this. We've all been there. And as a someone personally, C-Funk, in Canada, I know my internet's the worst. So, and we're going live 1 more time, I believe. Oh, not yet. I'm being told not yet. We are paused again. When a player disconnects, we need to pause that as quickly as possible because we want to make sure at the end of the day that this is as fair as possible. We want the team's true skill level to come out, and we don't want anyone complaining at the end, well, hey, this happened or that happened. And it's that's kind of the reason, guys. Now, again, C-Funk, you and I have had the opportunity to, well, I mean, a little back and forth between us as far as which team's gonna come out ahead. I'm saying I can see it, but I think it's gonna be Vexity still.
I think you're wrong. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Well, I know that personally, I'm. Oh, apparently we're being brought back to the game already, guys. That quick, that fast. Didn't take long to get a player back in there. Don't know who it was that got disconnected. But as we look, the control point about to unlock in just about 1 second. There it is. Picks going in the favor of Yetis.
And we're paused again.
Oh, I'm not sure what's happening here, guys. I think we've got a DC one more time. So let's go ahead and
Struggling.
let's go back to.
Oh, no,
Yes, no, maybe, guys. It was paused, but we're going back into the gameplay. Just when you thought.
Make sure you were ready.
Another DC. I don't know what's happening here, guys. But we're just everyone's internet apparently. What time is it? It must be this time of night that everybody gets on the internet. Everyone starts downloading things. I'm not sure.
Be pretty.
we're gonna stand here and be pretty, C-Funk. There we go. So how are you doing, chat? No. Again, though, this has been a lot closer of a match than the numbers dictate right now. We see it 3-0 in favor of Vexity over Team Yetis. But the truth is, despite one dominant victory, it's actually been going back and forth very much so. We're back in the game one more time, and it looks like, well, I'm not sure. It looks like they still have a DC person on my screen, but I'm as unsure about what's happening as the rest of you, chat. So we're just gonna. It looks like, yeah, there's one member on it's on Team Vexity too that's having some serious internet issues right now. They are constantly being disconnected, which is I think we've all been there at least once in our life, C-Funk, where the internet just doesn't work for you.
That's when you just need to. That's when you call the person and you say, "Hey, it's not working," and they ask you if you like unplugged it and plugged it back in.
Exactly. That's all I know. Whenever there's IT, it's unplug, plug it back, hope it works, turn it off, turn it on, and there we go. We are back. We are back. Now that is gonna cause some issues, I'll be honest, for Vexity having been disconnected. I don't know if their ult charge got reset, it looks like. But either way, Yeti's gonna go ahead and take over the control point to start things off and get that percentage up. There you can see Skeeter coming out with that Genji Ninja Blade. He's slicing through people, hasn't found the kill yet. There it is on Hanzo main. The Reaper takes him out, and a second kill going on Iode. And now it looks like as the trades are going back and forth, it should be going in Vexity's favor here. And it does. 33% on the board though for Team Yetis before they manage to get that point flip.
And we're gonna have a few ults coming into this round. Yetis is going to have 3 ults to 3 ults.
Yeah, no, and again, we're looking at what ults are coming through though, and you can see Iode very close to that trans ult. Having that defensive ult is going to be huge. And of course, seeing Baptiste, although a support character, I guess, well, his ult is support, not a heal by any means, but a opportunity to do more damage. And wow, big picks coming through from Kashmir and Summit. Zenlock manages to get a pick on the Orisa, but E26 very quickly counters that, and it's going to be Yetis getting all these picks, getting the point flip back over after just 43%. 43%. So they're going to be caught right back up, and there's the big stagger on the Mini Diva. You have to feel bad for a poor Mini Diva that just can't get out of there.
Just can't find her mech.
You know, all she wants to do is find her team, run back to them, be safe, and the team just wouldn't let her at all. But as they start moving, you can see the Widow ult has gone off, which is now giving Team Vexity not only the locations, but also the knowledge of their health bars. So Yetis at a bit of a disadvantage going into this fight. And oh, but no one on that Diva Bomb, and they are actually doing a great job. Cement taking out the Orisa, and it looks like Yetis might be holding on here. And they're just not being able to push forward at all here. They're holding inside of that invulnerability barrier, trying to get picks. Nova takes out the barrier though, and Lucio beat drop really cements that. Well, they're not gonna lose that fight, not yet, anyways. That Lucio beat drop not as effective as I'm sure Cement would have wanted. But there he comes around from the back. He's looking for those sneaky boots. Almost takes the Zen off, but doesn't quite. Io manages to hold on, use the trans, and trying to cement for the team. But once again, actually, it looks like this is it. 99%. This is the final team fight. Summit trying to get back up, and he does get up, doesn't even get taken out. However, the Hammond on the point, not for long. That's it. It's said, done, and over. That one is going to be going to Team Yetis. Yetis, apparently, my girl's psychic.
Your girl's psychic.
And as we enter into the play of the game, you can see this one is Ardu as Reinhardt. I always love seeing a good Reinhardt play of the game. Let's take a moment. Going through those proximity mines, taking out a bunch of them. Fire strike kill, shatter. Wow, fantastically well played. Really, really awesome. And well, C-Funk, I never like to be wrong. And I especially don't like to admit being wrong. Looks like you had the call right though. It was Team Yetis in the end that managed to take the win.
You know.
You know, you're so modest, so humble. And that's what it is though. Although Yetis did win that one last map, the overall score still Vexity 3, Yetis 1. So Vexity did pull off in the end a win, and I think they've got to feel good about that one.
That was a very good comeback for them. Making that sub was good choice.
Mm-hmm.
Strong defense.
Yeah, a lot of boops from the Lucio there. It was really, really well done. Again, taking advantage of those Lucio, or well, I should say boop buffs, keeping things consistent, making them nice and strong. And well, we saw it taking place there. It was a really well played game. No questions asked about that. And well, you know, I think it was an important win at the end for Yetis because of the fact that they wanted to, again, showing that they have this rivalry with Vexity. They wanted to show that it's not over. It wasn't a blowout. You guys, okay, you won this one, whatever. But at the end of the day, they can leave with their heads held high, and absolutely they can do that today.
I agree. They did a great job, both teams.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Overall score, they actually, if you look at the maps individually, it was 3-8 in the end. So Vexity definitely came out as the stronger team. There's no way to deny it tonight, but that does not mean that the next time we see these teams together, that the same result's going to happen.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen, which is one of the beauties of Overwatch. And again, with these community-held games that we are currently working on and making, guys, we are so thankful for both teams that came out. They did an amazing job tonight. Really entertaining, and I was personally very ecstatic that I was able to do the shoutcasting along the way. We should bring up that if anyone is interested, we talked about this before, we'll talk about it again. As we're working on this community, building it up, we already have so many teams that are interested in being involved. But if you, person listening to my voice right now, if you're interested, if you're someone who either has a team, plays on a team, owns a team, manages, coaches, knows a guy who knows a guy, feel free, get in touch with us. We want to showcase you. We want to have you on here. So all you need to do, and it should be in the chat in just a moment, is join into the Wasted Potential Discord. If you join into the Wasted Potential Discord, you'll be able to get in touch with who is actually the gentleman in charge of setting all this up, making this a reality, and giving us this opportunity together, everyone. All right. C-Funk, any parting words for us tonight?
I would like to thank everyone so much for being here. Thank you to both teams. You both did great. Thanks to Warp for the behind the scenes amazing job. And thank you, Bloomer, for having me here.
Very, very blessed, very honored. And hey, one more time, I'm excited that you're here, C-Funk. I'm excited.
You know, I'm incredibly excited to be here.
I love it. I love it. Guys, once again, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back on. We actually, I believe, have another match going tomorrow. We'll be posting that on all of our social medias. You guys will be the first to be aware of when that is, who's involved, and, well, I can't wait to see you then. Till then, be good to yourself, be good to each other, keep your stick on the ice, and thanks so much for being here.